Hey, 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 Facebook. Good morning, afternoon, good evening, depending on where you are in the world. I want to welcome you to another episode of Raising a Mogul TV, powered by Raising a Mogul. I'm your girl, Tamara Zantel, the CEO and founder of the Raising a Mogul platform. And if you don't know anything about Raising a Mogul, I don't know where you've been. Like, where have you been your whole life? Where have you been? We are the #1 parent manager community for the serious parent manager. So if you are raising a young mogul, a teenpreneur, a kidpreneur, or you want to, if you have children in business, if you have children that want to start a business, whether it's a business, a brand, a nonprofit, an entity, an empire, whatever it is, we are here to support you. And how do we do that? We do that by giving you the confidence, the knowledge, and of course, helping you out with the tools that you need to raise a mogul. We have a free Facebook community right here on Facebook. You can find us on Instagram. You can find us on Twitter, but our Facebook community is pretty popping. It is a free community for parents, managers just like you. And a little background noise. Sorry about that, guys. For parent managers just like you, or parents that are looking to level up any aspect of their family, brand, or business, we have a spot for you. So today I am excited to be talking to another super califragilisticexpialidocious parent manager, Miss Terry, and she's going to come and talk to us about her level up and what her relationship with the Raising a Mogul community has been like. How did she start? Why did she start? How did she find us? And what this love affair that we have created has been like from her point of view. Hey, Terry.
Hey, that was funny. The love affair. It has truly blossomed.
It has
blossomed. A love affair.
And the thing about it is, I never know what the heck I'm going to say when I go live. So it just kind of happens. It just kind of happens.
Right.
So Terry, welcome. I'm excited. Thank you for saying yes. I know you're super busy and Sunday is family day. So thank you for taking time for me.
You're welcome.
So tell the people who you are, what you do.
Yeah. So, okay. I am Terry Hunt. First and foremost, I am the mommy of Sanaya, Charnay, and Simona Hunt. My. But what I do other than that is I have been a teacher for about 17 years. I have started my own business and I've been growing that. And I do curriculum writing and editing and revising and ghostwriting and all sorts of other beautiful, wonderful things that I love doing. And I just love it. The best part, I guess the best part or best thing that I do is that I am also married to the pastor of a church. And so I'm the first lady. I don't know. We don't even use that word. I just say that because everybody gets it. But yeah, I am the first lady and I love that. That's my biggest love, I guess, I think.
I love it. That's amazing. I happen to be a PK, so my mom's a first lady. So I always say first lady. And usually when I'm talking to Terry, I'm like, well, Terry, you're a first lady, you know?
And I'm always like, what does that mean?
Right. Stop it. You're the first lady. Come on, you know? So yeah, well, that's awesome. So first of all, I need to congratulate you for all of that because it's a lot. So for the parent that's listening, before we even get started with the actual topic of today's show, I want to know, like, how does this all work? What does this look like in under one household? The girls, husband, first ladyship, or first ladying? I'm not even sure because I'm just not there. I don't know.
Like, I think the way that it works, what it looks like is literally a juggling act of, okay, what's in the air right now? Okay, what's in the air right now? Okay, and a teamwork. Like the other day, I was like, Stephen, we got to work this thing like volleyball. If you're going for the ball, say, I got it. And I'm not going to go for the ball.
I love that. That is dope. Listen, that's good. I love it.
Right. Just scream out, I got it. And I won't go for it because literally it's a matter of running underneath the thing that's falling. or
That's
the
good.
thing that needs to happen right now.
That's good. In the restaurant industry, I used to work consulting, and it's like when you have a lot of servers carrying things, like it's always like behind you, got it, behind you, and it's like you know who's running what, and just the hand signals and the eye contact. It's like, okay, the team. That's how you know when you got it's well oiled, when the team is operating together and everybody's getting their hot, fresh food on time, and there's nothing sitting in the window. So
Yep,
like,
exactly. On the
you gotta
left,
run that family.
on the right.
Right. You got to run that family and don't leave anything sitting in the window.
Yeah. Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
so tell us about your homeschooling, because I know you're homeschooling.
Oh, yeah, I forgot that part too.
Yes. Kind of important.
Yeah, I've been homeschooling. This is going on our second year. I always wanted to homeschool, but I always wanted to teach other people's children too. Like I was in this limbo space. Like I want to impact the world, but I also want to be home with my kids. And I just finally got to the place where I took the leap and I decided I was going to take ownership of my children and their learning. And of course, as soon as I did that, and then of course, as soon as I said that, everybody in my community was like, oh, will you do my kids too? So I don't homeschool other people's children. I support the homeschooling that they're doing with their children. We all do it under one roof. So
That's good.
yeah.
So tell me more. What does that look like? So
So
for me, because I was a homeschooling mom, I still technically am, even though I have one on his way out. So he's like almost done.
mhm.
But so and I always say this, and I had this conversation also with Dr. Shiva Quinn a couple days ago, is that I was the homeschooling mom, or am the homeschooling mom, that was like, I was really afraid of the process, because not only am I like mentally organized, like just the kind of learner I am, I can only imagine the kind of educator I would be. And I'd be like, it'd be like art class every day.
all day.
All day. I'd be like, what do you guys want to do? Do you want to paint? Should we do sculptures? Should we just go outside and roll in the leaves? Like, and be like, well, we didn't really learn anything today, Miss Tamara. And I'm like, it's okay. We'll try again tomorrow. Whereas Jimmy is very structured, very organized. And my biggest thing is I had to be honest with what I was able to do and not able to do. You know what I mean? Or good at, not good at. I don't even know if I'm using the right words, but so what would like our conversation would look like what? And what would I say to you? Like,
Yeah, so
how do you support me?
So our conversation would look like, hey, Terry, I am really good at art class. And so I got that on lock, but I'm going to need your support with teaching reading and teaching math. So I'm going to bring my children to you during your math and your reading block every day. And then when it's reading time, when it's art time, I'll come and pick up my kids and we'll do art together. So that's essentially how we're working it. I have my schedule set up. The parents know when I'm teaching what. And then whatever they need support with, that's when they bring their children to me to support them in those areas. Because, you know, my strength or my expertise really is in language arts and foundational literacy, reading specialists, like trying to help our students really become really good readers, which leads into writing. And so I have most of the majority of my parents are like, I'm going to leave that to you. And so the first part of our day, I have the students doing their reading, their writing, then their math. And I have it structured so that parents can utilize me for the areas that they need.
I love that. That's awesome. That's really great. And I always say the first part of, you know, this whole growth mindset process with our kids, when it comes to education, entrepreneurship, and all the things that we do within the Raising a Mogul community, is really understanding not only our kids' skill set and strengths, weaknesses, but ours as well.
Yeah.
You know, so, and a lot of us, you know, backing off that whole idea of parenting with ego, it's hard for some of us to admit the things that we're not good at, you know? Yeah. So go ahead.
And listen, like the conversation I had with my husband yesterday was like so stimulating. We were up to like 3 o'clock talking, but I said, I learned a long time ago that I wasn't going to invest my time and energy in my weaknesses. That's a waste of time, energy, money, space, so now over the last 3-4 years, my investment has been in my strengths. And that's how I show up, is in my strengths. In those areas where I know I'm weak, I'm looking around my community to see who can do it. I'm looking around and going, oh, it seems like you're really good with finances. What program do you want me to buy? What software do you need me to have? So that, okay, because I'm done investing in my weaknesses, because they're never going to give me the maximum impact, the maximum benefit. So I focus on my strengths and develop my strengths and get excellent in those, and leave all the other stuff to the other people who that's their strength.
I love it. I love it. You know how long it takes people to get to that point?
Mm.
So long. And so many of us spend years after year after year after year investing and reinvesting in our weakest points, because we think that if we just buy another course, buy another book that's going to sit on the bedside or sit somewhere in the living room, you know what I mean? Or, you know, do some more Googling, that we'll be able to master it. And then, you know, it's the whole, what is it? What's it? It ends with master of none. What is it?
Oh, the jack of all trades with the master of none.
Yes. That's it. And I get it. There's something to be said for, you know, having a lot of skills or knowing a lot about things. Like my father's very well read. He's an educator, and like he's the kind of person that he can meet anyone, anywhere, and be able to have a conversation about anything. Mm-hmm. Jimmy's very similar to him, and that's one of the reasons why I was so attracted to him, is because he's just smart about stuff. Mm-hmm. He's very intelligent about things. And that was never really my thing. Like I know what I know, but there's other things I'm like, that I don't even want to know that. Like I want to know about it, but I need you to just tell me why you love it. But I don't want to go buy the book because because I just know that I have to stay focused on mine, or I will stay stuck with all the books and all the words jumping around my head. And tomorrow will go nowhere. I know me. So I had to learn me, Terry, like what I was good at. And so when I started having children, in the beginning it was like, oh, you know, like Sequoia is talking about, you know, with parents, we think we have to do it all. Yeah. And I was like that for a small amount of time. And then I was like, there's no way I can do it all, because when am I going to have time to hang out with the kids? None. When am I going to have time to enjoy this parenting experience? Because I was trying to do it all instead of investing in other people's expertise. Yeah. You know? Yeah. So I'm glad you brought that up, because that leads us into the idea of entrepreneurship, because as an educator, tell us a little bit about the process of like, okay, you have this household thing on lock, you have the education piece on lock. So for most parents, it's like, that's it, we're done. Like, you know, they're going to get a great education, they're going to roll right into college, and we're just going to live this American dream. Where does entrepreneurship insert into all of this? And how did this happen with your girls?
Yeah. And that is not a bad plan either, right? That's still the plan, in the sense, I have an 18-year-old who just went to college last week, you know, 2 weeks ago. And so that's still the plan. But one of the things that I have realized over the last, I don't know, 5-6 years is, you can't, like the old adage, don't put all of your eggs in one basket. Mm-hmm. You never know what's going to happen. I made my girls, well, my oldest and myself and my husband, I think Sanaya read it too. Who moved my cheese, right?
I was just about to say, I knew where you're going.
Yeah. And so we read that together, and I said, we always have to have another plan. We have to have a plan A through Z. And we have to know those. So Charnay, she can sew, she can bake with the best of them. And all of those are options she has. And so what I needed the girls to understand is how to run a business. But I realized I couldn't help them know how to run a business if I myself didn't know how to run a business. So I left the classroom to do my business. And when I did that, I was like, oh, this is really amazing. This is really life-changing. I need the girls to experience this part of it, right? Because I think one of the big pieces that took me so long to do this was fear. I was so afraid that if I do this, I'll fail. And if I do this, and what happens, and we'll never eat again, and I'll lose my house, and all of these fears. And I was like, well, what if I get all of these fears out of my kids at 10 and
Mm-hmm.
16, so that whenever they have to make these decisions, they're not afraid and they're bold, and they are, because they're all girls. I have all girls, right? And girls' perspective of the world is different than boys.
Totally.
And the way that society fashions our thought as girls is different too. And I said, I need them to know that you don't have to be afraid of being bold and being a risk taker and being strong. You can do that, but you can also be Simona, who is living to be a mommy and is breastfeeding her doll babies right now, right? So I was just like, I just need them to see all of it. And they are fearless little girls, man. They are fearless human beings who are not afraid to pivot. They're not afraid to change. They're not afraid to say, I want to do this, and let's figure out how to do it. So mission accomplished, I suppose. Now it's managing that boldness.
Yes, I love it. And that boldness that has been instilled, and also they've been allowed to walk in that space, because I feel like for a lot of us, even when we were younger, we didn't have permission to express ourselves, or to have to exhibit that kind of freedom, or to feel, and that lack of permission or lack of freedom, I think, kept us from feeling like we could have all of it. You know what I mean? Or experience all of it, or the options, the choices, and all these other things that come out of parenting your children in this way. So Terry, talk to us about your connection to the Raising a Mogul community. When did you join? What made you join? And when was it that you decided to no longer be just a member of the group, but actually become a member of the community?
Yeah. So when you decide to be an entrepreneur and you decide that you're going to step out of your industry space, right? So I have a community that is education, and I know all principals, I know all the schools. Well, when you enter into entrepreneurship, you're in a different space, right? You still have the same connections, you still have the same people, but you enter in a new space. And I started having different conversations with people that helped me see them in a different, I started seeing other people's strengths and how we could leverage that, right? And so I had a friend who said, oh, you know what, you should help Sanaya start a business or something like that. And then I was like, oh, that's amazing. Yeah, what do you like to do? Sanaya, paint nails. Okay, great. So
I like how happy it's like, oh, that's great. What do
you like to do?
But listen, you guys, she said, what do you like to do? That's a key point. I know you said it fast and we can move on. However, that's a piece that a lot of us are missing. Is it's like, oh, your child should start a business. And it's like, oh, great. What did I want to do when I was little?
Exactly.
Paint pictures, whatever. And then it comes from us. It's that whole, like, you're going to go to this school, or you're going to do this because I did. We've always done it this way, So I love that. I just wanted to make sure that we point out, it's what did Sanaya want to do?
And I want to stay there for 2 seconds, because Sanaya wants to do 3 million things. Right? When I said, well, what do you want to do? I mean, the list of what she wanted to do was like 25 things. And TD Jakes talks about studying your children, like studying them. And so I was literally, I saw these 25 things she was doing, but I was studying her and really trying to see what it was she wanted to do, not what she would be good at, what her strengths would be. And that's how we narrowed down the list of 25 to the fingernail polish, because she loves science. She loves chemical reactions. She loves research. She loves all of those things. And she loves being super pretty. And the child's nail beds are amazing. Like, she makes me jealous.
Bonus.
Right. So I was like, well, the Lord said you gonna paint nails. No. And so I had a friend who was like, oh, you need to be a part of this Raising a Mogul community. And I was like, okay, cool. And I'm going to be honest. The first time I joined, like the first time I started kind of perusing the page, I was like, oh, ooh, no, I can't do this. This too much. This is too,
This too much.
they want for real businesses in here. And so I was like, okay. So, but I stepped back and I said, well, why would you waste Sanaya's time doing a play business? Like that's a waste of time.
Hello,
And
somebody.
yeah, like why would you encourage her to do a fake business and waste her time? Like, let's maximize our time here. If we're going to delve into this process, let's get paid for it. Like, let's make money doing the process, you know? And so once that shift happened in my mind, I was like, oh, I'm finna get everything I can out of this group. Oh, I mean, I was on everybody's page. When it was everybody like everybody's page, absolutely, you know.
I love
but it took that shift in my mind that I'm not going to introduce time wasters to my children because I don't want them to be time wasters and I don't want them to invest in time wasting things, right? I just sent a text message to my husband like, this Roblox, we're done. We're done with Roblox. That's all they do. They play Roblox all day. I'm over it. I'm done with it.
Yeah.
Because I'm trying to teach my children, we can do things that are fun. We're not wasting time though. Right. We might reward ourselves with time, but we're not wasting time.
Right.
So that was the shift that caused me to really jump in with both feet and really maximize this space.
So I did a live the other day in the Raising A Mogul community, and I talked about the question I had gotten that day because I'd done a series of consultations with a lot of parent managers and people that were considering the brand strategy lab, the Young Mogul brand strategy lab program. And the question that was like, how did you know it was going to work? And I was like, I didn't, and I still don't, but I have faith and I believe that I will, no matter what, I will make it work. However, at the time I did not know it was going to work. So I ask you the same question, is when you made the shift and you said, okay, this is not going to be child's play. It's not going to be a pretend, or we're not going to fake it. We're just going to do it and jump out here and get what we need. How did you know it was going to work?
I didn't. I didn't. I know this about me though. I know that I'm a hard worker. I know that I am smart. I know that I am perfectly and wonderfully made, and I am created for excellence. Like I know those things. Those are things that are in my core. And I know that God gave me my kids and they are perfectly and wonderfully made and created for excellence as well.
Absolutely.
And the one thing that I have always, like not always, as I've grown, as I've matured and gotten older, the one thing that I have realized is if you plant seeds in good ground, they will grow.
Yes.
If you plant seeds in good ground, they're going to grow. So again, I had to start using the group to help me cultivate good ground so that whatever seed we planted, I didn't know what it would look like. I didn't know how long it would take, but I did believe that if I honored God and I was honoring him in a way that was helping to make my kids great. And you know, one of the things I always say, I know I'm digressing a little bit, but as a teacher, as a minister, as a mom, my biggest reward in life is going to be when I stand before God and he says, what did you do with the children I gave you? And let me tell you, I am going to be like, well, listen here, father, son. I did this for those students. I did that for those children in my ministry. I did this. Look at these children. Look at my children. And everything I do is for the pat on my back of well done, you know? And so I had to say, you know, I forgot the question, but
how did you know it was going to work? We already said we didn't.
I didn't. I didn't.
It's like he has said, worth the risk. And you know, what you just said was so powerful. Like I felt that because I'm very similar and well, the same. And I remember, just even when I, found that I was pregnant with my son, my first child, I remember making a decision And I was like, it doesn't matter what everybody else does, what the world looks like, what opportunities out there. I was rooted in the idea of what his success was going to look like.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was a plan. The same way people plan to get for anything else in their life. I planned, I feel like a lot of us are not standing in our power and accepting the fact that we actually can control things that we want to happen. We can manifest them by starting to move towards them and starting to, like you said, cultivate the soil for them to grow in our lives.
Yeah.
And instead of doing that, we stand around and look at what everybody else is doing and allow the fear to take over. And we accept what the environment or this, the people, what's available to us around us. And that's what we put on our plate instead of going beyond that space and looking for something else or exposing our minds, ourselves, just everything to what else is out there,
And listen, this is the thing. This group was the step closer, right? Joining this group was a step closer. Joining, the society was a step closer. Right. Each time you take a step intentionally, right? I wasn't just doing it because the masses were doing it. It was intentional. I felt like that was the next step. And as long as you're doing those steps forward, the space opens.
It
right?
always opens. Oh my God. That's how you know. That's the answer. That's how you know.
Yeah.
How you know.
Yeah.
You know, because I'm not going to stop. So I know everything else around me is going to continue to shift.
Yeah.
It's like a lock. It's like unlocking for me as I move forward. But if I don't ever move forward, even step, because I'm so afraid or I have so much doubt or because I listened to what everybody said, the chains cannot start to break.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like we can't break the cycle. We just nothing is going to happen. Nothing will flow until we start.
Yeah. My mom said it. My mom said it best. She said, I'm now excited and invested because you're doing something. Right. She was like, I don't know what the something's going to turn into, but you're doing something. Sanaya's doing something. Simona's doing something. And I have people who call me and are like, oh, we want to help Sanaya with her. I have a friend who works for Coke. And she was like, I just want to give her everything I have as it relates to public speaking. I just want to help her.
Hey, see?
I just want to help her. She's going to be showing up. She's going to be doing these interviews. I want to help her. This is someone who is like a high level in Coke talking about, I just want to come and let me bring her to Coke.
Listen, in the streets, they call it game peeps game. In the world, in the world of success sees success. We see it from the beginning. And the only way we can see your success, your potential, your greatness is that you start walking in it. That's it. And as soon as you start seeing people walk in it, it's like, hold on, you walking like I'm walking. We might as well walk together because nobody wants to be here alone. Nobody wants to be here alone. The people that are really in it with the best intentions don't want to be here alone. My job is to continue. My job is not to go back and sit with everybody else while they get it together. My job is to continue to move so that I can inspire you. And then as you start moving, we can walk together and we help each other along the way. That's what this thing looks like.
Yeah.
So Terry, tell us a little bit about your decision to join the Brand Strategy Lab. So you talked about joining the Raising a Mogul community, which is the free community, and not being just a part of the group, you guys. And when I say that, I mean, she didn't, she joined the group, you look around for a little while, but then you actually immerse yourself in the community by talking, by giving value, by asking questions. So it's a give and take situation in the community, which is the free space. Then you leveled up to the society, which is the membership. It's an investment, but it's a low investment. And then you decided to jump and take the leap into the Brand Strategy Lab. So tell us about that process.
It's funny because it really boils down to prayer. Like I had been approached by many different groups, many different masterminds. And I remember talking to you guys like, well, how y'all do this? But, and anytime I'm confused, I'm just going to pray about it. Like, I'm going to just take a minute, I'm going to take a deep breath and I'm going to pray. And I prayed about it. And literally I woke up in the middle of the night and God said to me, just stay connected to Tamara. Now, I'll be honest with you. God don't be telling me that very often. He don't be telling me that. Not about folks.
Wow.
But he was like, just stay connected to Tamara. And I was like, okay, all right. And I joined, and the confirmation came when my mom, because I love my mom. My mom is probably the biggest voice that I have in my face all the time.
I love
And
it.
my mom was just like, I think that was a great idea. I think that was a great decision.
Wow.
When my mother, who is the Dave Ramsey of this whole enterprise that calls the Wilson King Hunt family.
Wow.
She doesn't come off of her money for real, like easy. But she's so wise with money. Like, she's so wise.
I love it. My mother's the same way. So I get it. I totally get it.
She will be like, that is the stupidest thing I've ever seen you do, Terry, or whatever. But that day, she was just like, oh, I think this is good. I think this is a good idea. And that just sealed it for me, and
wow.
I was all in.
Wow. Thank you for that. Like, I had no idea. Like, I had no idea. That's awesome. Wow. That's a big deal for me.
It is. It's a big deal for me.
Wow. That's really powerful, Terry. So, okay. So tell us a little bit about your experience. 1 second. I just want to acknowledge some of the amazing parent managers and community members we have watching. I want to say, hey to Sequoia, to Oren, to Shanta, Christina, Shiva, Chanel. We have Kia here watching and commenting. And a whole bunch of other people. So listen, you guys, if you haven't had an opportunity to share this video out, please go ahead and share this video out. Tag some other parent managers that you know need to hear this conversation. We're talking today about Terry King Hunt's experience with the Brand Strategy Lab. And really what we're talking about is her experience with Raising a Mogul overall in a way, but also how her decision to take a risk and to level up her children's brands, her brand, and what the end result had looked like. So her relationship with the Raising a Mogul community and what the transformation has been and what the journey has been like, and I think it's important for us to talk about people that have been on the journey, that have experienced some of the things that we're putting out into the universe, just so you can get real talk, just so you can get a feel for what the experience like. So it's never going to be the same for everybody. Right. So you never know who's going to relate to who has to say. So I think it's important to just bring our members on and just kind of just get a feel for what it's been like for them and how they were able to break through these fear blocks and these, blocks of doubt and the naysayers and, and just balancing it all the things that we as superstar amazing parents have to deal with every day, like paying the bills, keeping the lights on, feeding the kids, soccer, dance, school, homeschooling, the spouse, the lack of a spouse or, another person in the household. What does all of that look like? So I want to bring it together on the Raising a Mogul TV platform so that way you have an opportunity to ask questions and you see how these things manifest in other people's lives. And more importantly, how they are taking what they have, moving forward with it, and then also, adding value to our amazing platform and then getting value from the platform as well.
So while you're saying that, because one thing that was popping in my head while you were talking is I want to make sure I make this very clear, right? My life is very spirit led. However, this platform is a platform that's focused on children and business and doing all of that, right?
Right.
And the reason I bring that up is because there are other faith-based platforms that I had engaged in and been introduced into. Mm-hmm. And so there's not anything like taking away or giving to that statement.
Right.
But the truth of the matter is that there is a foundation of faith in me, but I also understand that from that platform, there has to be forward momentum and credibility that goes behind it. Right. Mm-hmm. So the other spaces were faith-based, but there wasn't production happening. There wasn't like street cred happening. There weren't receipts that you could see. You see what I'm saying?
I got you. I got it.
And so you have to, as a person of faith, you have to be willing to say, okay, yeah, my faith is going to lead me, but sometimes it might lead me in another direction than this community over here that says Jesus movers and shakers. You see what I'm saying?
Right. Totally.
And that's important because we are called to make moves and be excellent. And in this group, there is amazing and excellent people, and there are amazing and excellent leaders who have the credibility and who have the receipts behind them that are going to get you where you need to go in order to show up in your excellence in whatever field that is.
I love that.
And that's important. That was the difference. And that's what caused me to say, okay, this is where I'm going to connect, and this is where I'm going to invest my time.
That's awesome. That's a very unique perspective, because I feel like many people, we get locked in because we feel like we initiate relationships and we assume that that's where we should be because it reads right or it looks right, as opposed to what does it really feel right and is it serving me right? So I'm an absolute total risk taker, but I go where I'm best served, and that's whether it's popular or not. I just need to keep moving. So in order for me to keep moving, and let me just say this, I have to keep moving and I have to keep growing because it's so much bigger than me and my family. What I'm doing with my young mogul is bigger than, it's monumental. It's huge. And I understood early on, eventually I understood, maybe like 3 years in, I came to realize that it was so much bigger than us, and that the more we moved and the more we grew, the more people we could help and support. So then other people could also move and grow. And that was what it was. And if I was we started this out talking about time wasters, time stealers, and things that just keep us stuck or stop us from moving or take value from us, right? And I knew that if I was able to I'm able to quickly identify the things that don't serve me well. Yeah. And then I can move. And not everybody has that kind of discernment, or everybody's able to do that, because once again, you add on the layers of fear, the doubt, and what everybody else is doing. And especially when it's not as popular of a decision. Not to say that the Raising a Mogul community is not a popular decision, but what we're doing as risk takers, as parent managers, is not, it's still not, like there's a lot of hype around the kid branding, right? Business and stuff like that. It's very cutesy. But when it comes to kids really, really for real doing business, we still have a long ways to go. And I say that because when Xandra started in 2009, like, it was like, what? Who do you think you are? It was like, we struggled for at least 3 good years to even get people to even allow her in the room. Interesting enough that those people are now paying her to come back and speak to their same communities, but we can talk about that another time. But then it transitioned into, she can come, but she can't touch anything, for example. You know what I mean? Like, she can come, but you got to stay the whole time, and then it turned into hearts, minds, and things, doors unlocking and opening because we just wouldn't stop. So we're still we're growing, but we're still not the popular choice because people still aren't taking us seriously because we have street cred. But imagine if we all have more street cred. Imagine if all of us start moving together and our children are starting to lay platforms and build empires, creating other opportunities for other kids to come behind them and walk alongside of them. Like, just imagine, you know what I mean? Like, we talked about this, Terry, before, and I'm like, you guys don't understand. Like, when I say bigger than me, like one of my goals and Xandra's goal was so that when she turned 18, she can call other kids and be like, let's fly to New York City for the weekend. Like, when she's 21, she can be, let's go to Paris and go buy the purse. Or I want to go buy my shoes. Or who's hungry? Let's go to Chicago and get pizza. You know what I mean? Like, I'm serious. Some people's minds can't even imagine it. But guess what? Not only is my daughter, was she able to imagine it, but now she can do it. She can do
so
whatever
awesome.
she wants, but
That's
she
so
doesn't want to do it alone. I need
Yeah.
your kids to come along too.
Yeah.
I need everybody. Like she's like, I'm not gonna be the only one to always pay for everything.
Right.
And you think about us as adults, we're the same way. You go on a
Yes.
couple's date or you go out with your girlfriends, it's like, girl, this round's on me, but next time, you know what I mean?
Right.
Everybody,
funny.
every relationship needs to be equally yoked. We need to be able to handle our own. We're
Girl.
building our children's future, but it's custom designed by
Yes.
us.
Yes. Yes. It's funny because the other day Simona said to me, "Oh, that's okay, Mom. You can just take me to Target. I'll buy my own stuff." You're 4. What do you? Then I had to realize, like, yeah, she can. Like,
she can. She's building a brand. And then, but to have that kind of power at 4, 5, 6, for her to walk into her, to camp, summer camp, or to anything at that with that kind of confidence. Tell me how that one personality trait or that one transformation in a 4-year-old is not going to change our world. How can it not? How can not every person she meets as she grows not be impressed by it, not want to be associated with it, and not want to be connected with it? Connected in like to form more collaborations or to partnerships, all kinds of stuff. Like how?
Yeah, it's funny because like everybody at the end of all of my posts now, it's like I do the little girl who's just like this, because it's like I can't make this up, and people are knocking on my door. Can we send you product? Can we do this? Can we help? How can we help you? I had a young lady who reached out to me about Sanaya yesterday and said, I just want her to come and create and be the artist at this event that I'm doing. I just want her to inspire the people. I'm like, well, how many other children are going to be there? Oh no, she's going to be the only one. Right.
You know why? Because they understand the value, and and this lady understands the value, and you understand the value that if other parents see your child walking in her greatness, they're going to go home and have a different conversation with their children.
Yeah.
With their grandchildren.
Yeah. So it's great. I love it.
It's absolutely. So Terry, tell everyone that's watching that does not know who you are and what you do about your children individually. Really,
okay.
So they know what their brands are and the impact they're making.
Yeah. So, so Charnay, she's going to college to become our finance person. No,
I love it.
We have invested in sending her to college so she can come and be the CFO.
That's it.
Yeah. And then Sanaya, she is the CEO of Sassy G Nails. She also has a nonprofit, and she takes the nail polish that she creates and she goes into nursing homes with a group of 16 girls, and they provide free manicures to the residents of the nursing homes. And so from the nail polish business has really developed, she realizes that that's actually what she loves to do. And so she sells her nail polish for the motivation and for the reward of being able to do those free manicures. And she loves it. Like, that's her space. She loves it. And then I have a 4-year-old, so she's 10. And then I have a 4-year-old who is Simona, and she is probably the biggest genius I've ever met. I have my degree is in gifted education. I've never met a genius like that 4-year-old. And she has started her own YouTube page. I had to click it and I had to type the words, but the girl started her own YouTube page. She told us what it was going to be called. She said she is the CEOE, and she told us
that's the best. That is the best. Like, I will never forget that. I think I'll say that forever.
Right. She told us that meant the chief executive of everything. Right. I don't know where she came from. I don't, honestly.
She came from you. She came from greatness. That's it.
So she's 4, and she has her own little page where she just is being Simona and just being 4. And I think that for us, that's the greatest reward.
Yeah.
To be able to let our kids find their thing and just live in it. And just
I love it. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. So talk to us a little bit about the brand strategy lab experience. Talk to us about that. You made the risk. You told us what got you there. So talk to us about the experience, and then also your decision to continue with the platform and even go even higher.
Yeah. So The brand strategy lab was life-changing. It was life-changing. I think that sounds dramatic, but it's true, right? It was life-changing in the sense that it provided me with the structure that I need. Like if you ask my husband, I'm kind of like you in the sense that I'm like, oh, I'm creative and I like to be everywhere. And I just don't feel like this today. But the brand strategy lab gave me the structure that I needed to produce, right? Not to have a bunch of little things going all over the place, but to produce something and create something. From the brand strategy lab, we have my curriculum writing courses. I mean, amazing. Amazing.
So amazing.
I get so excited when I think about it. Like, it's just really hard for me to contain myself. From that, we also got her Sassy G Awards, which was so inspiring and so amazing. That was just the launch of that. So that's just the beginning of an annual thing. From that, we also, of course, started looking into Simona and her business, and just it gives you the framework, because what doesn't work for me is when I have a lot of people talking to me. Mm-hmm. And if there's too many people going, yay, Terry, or this is great, Terry, and not giving constructive feedback, I just feel like it's just a bunch of noise. And being in a smaller environment where everybody is committed to giving effective feedback, not pats on the back, not bravo, bravo, just effective feedback. This is what you need to do this today, do that tomorrow. You create things. And that's what I needed. And it was perfect. It was perfect.
I love it. The space to create things. And the other thing you said is you talked about the lack of, or the lack of the hoopla, I guess. I'm going to wrap it into that. The hoopla, like the whole yay. Because we encourage each other and we support each other. But the idea is, in order for us to grow, we have to also stretch each other. Mm-hmm. And that's not always pretty. Mm-hmm. I mean, even just thinking about us stretching each other is not always pretty, just the visual. And we need to be prepared for that. So what would you say to the parent manager that is considering the Brand Strategy Lab, that's looking to book a call to talk about it? And I know a lot of the roadblocks for most people is the financial piece. They're scared, right? Because on purpose, I didn't tell everybody, oh, this is how much it's going to cost, whatever. I want people to see the value up front. Yeah. I want people to want it regardless. Yeah. You know what I mean? So what would you say to a parent manager that's listening or watching that feels like they need all the things that you talked about, but they're still like, I'm comfortable right now. I'm not really sure. I want to do it, but I don't know if I need all that.
We give too much power to money. We give too much power to money. Money, and I think you taught me this, probably, like, it's just all come together. Mm-hmm. But we give too much power to money, and we look at what's in our hand and we go, I don't have the physical money right now.
Right.
But if this is something that you want, if this is something that you need, I can tell you right now, the value is there. I can show you what I received out of this experience. All day, I can give you PowerPoints. I can give you all of the videos, right? I can tell you that. But what I will say to you is, you have to get to the point where you expect the money to show up when you need it, right? You have to get to the place where you go, this is what I want. I've been created with a brain that is creative enough to figure out how to find the money to pay for this thing. Because if money is that powerful, you will never be anywhere.
Never.
You'll never be anywhere.
And if we base it on what we have right this moment, yes, or what we can see or predict, right, then first of all, that's a whole faith lesson. But then the other piece of it is that we just stay stuck, and we're allowing ourselves to stay stuck. And how long will we stay stuck? How long do we want to? How long do we want to? I know for me, when Xandra, sorry to cut you off, when I made the decision, I think she was in the UB program, and I think I said before, she was like 13. I was the years, it's been so long. But I think she was 13 when we started looking at the process of the real rebrand. And I remember thinking, like, what? Like when we started getting estimates back, and I was like, these people are like for real professionals.
Mm-hmm.
I remember praying and crying and really us huddling as a family and like, are we going to do this? Like the level of sacrifice was huge.
Mm-hmm.
But when she explained her vision, and when I got on board with her vision, and I just made a decision that there was nothing was going to stop me.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing was going to stop me. And then from that point on, every single investment I made then, my mindset shifted, Terry, from how much is it? It's how much to, it's only how much? It's only how much? It's like, we got that. Or I walked into meetings, got on phone calls, already with my mind fixed on what I thought the value would be. So I'd be like, oh, well, I'll take that for 20 grand. And then when they told me it was 5, I was like, okay, what do I sign? Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it's just a shift. It's mm-hmm. a mindset shift around the money in regards to where it's going to take us, and really focusing on the end result mm-hmm. and what we really want, as opposed to what we can't do today.
And I want to make sure that I'm very, very careful to not make it seem like it wasn't a sacrifice, or it mm-hmm. wasn't a financial, like, take a deep breath and try it, because it was scary. It was a big investment for our family, right? I had just left my job, right? It was an investment, but I also know that I got to the place where I said, okay, every day, how much money do I need to make in order to do this? Every single day, figure out how to do it. Now, listen, please, I hope, dear Lord, nobody gets offended by this. But if you needed bread and you had no money, if you had to walk outside and ask someone standing on the street, can I get $20? I got to get some bread. Like, we can figure out how to find the little bit of money that we need. And if you break it down into how much money do you need today, just figure out how to find that money today. And then let tomorrow worry about tomorrow. And that's kind of how I had to do every day. And some days it was, hey, Ma, let me get let me get $20 real quick. Like I didn't make my $20 today. Let me help this real quick. Some days it was like, I'll pick this up tomorrow. But we have to get away from the stance of, I don't have it all today, so let me not try
at all.
Let me not try at all. Like, I had to leave that behind.
You have to. And the thing about it is, as we grow in the success thing, and the higher we climb, it doesn't change much. It's still more money, more problems, right? It's just the ask is different. So like I said this on a live in the community the other day too. It's like, okay, before I used to be like, oh, I need $500 to make this happen. So guess what? Now that we've busted at the seams and we're growing like crazy, our prayers are like, we need $250,000 by the end of this week. What are we going to do? Oh, let's sit down and have a meeting and get to work and figure out what we can do. So that's our relationship with money has shifted. So it's just really a mindset thing, whether it's $500 or $500,000. If you know where you're going, it's going to happen. Mm-hmm. And it sounds really unbelievable, but I'm telling you, if you had told me 5 years ago, we'd be sitting in a meeting with my teenage girl talking about how we're going to, buy $200,000 worth of anything for the business, I would have been like, you're a liar. No way. I have huge faith, but I can't even see it. But then as we started to continue to move and we started to be around other like-minded thinkers and other people that were leveling up on that were where we wanted to be, it just got easier. And other cultures get this, Terry. Other cultures get this. Other worlds get this. But we have, our relationship with money has been tainted so badly, and our relationship with our next level it's made to appear as if it's all like it's for them, but it's not for us. Mm-hmm. And as soon as we break free from that, everything that is meant for us, the rain can come, because we've been preparing for it, and we've been moving and we've been busy working for it. You know what I mean? But if we never start working for it, towards it, guess what?
Yeah. my girlfriend yesterday. She was like, so next year for our birthday party, because we're turning 40, she was like, next year we're going to Paris. And I was like, okay, so tell me how much it is so I can figure out how many units I got to write, how much curriculum I got to write, like, because I'm coming with you.
But listen, isn't that a shift? That's a shift right there, because
Yeah.
I don't know for sure, but I would imagine a while back when okay, I'll say this. I could imagine when you first left your job, if that conversation, you'd be like, girl, I ain't going nowhere.
I can't
I'm
go.
trying to
I
figure
don't
out how
have
to
no
put food
money.
on the table next week. We got to pay the light bill. We're stuck right here. We're not thinking about what we're able to create. You know what I mean? Now you're like, oh, okay, well, I just mean I gotta work a little couple more hours this week. Let me see what I gotta do. I gotta create something new, create something and sell it. That's what people are doing. And guess what? Y'all are all buying it. Y'all helping everybody, other people get to their next while you're over here buying this stuff and just sitting on it. You sitting on it. Stop sitting on it, and that's what we start with the Brand Strategy Lab. And even with the Elite League is really with the Elite League. I know that's not what we're talking about, but I got to say this is we're talking about what value do you have right now? What can you monetize? What's in your arsenal right now that you can sell? Then all the rest of the stuff can come later. But we're not talking about let's sell cups and mugs and let's add on more stuff. That's not what scaling is. We need to understand. We're trying to figure out how do we leverage? How do we make the most money today with the least amount of effort and with the least without having to go buy more materials? What do you have? What do you have right now that we can blow up? Right. What's in your hand? Exactly. Then as we grow, we add on, we diversify our portfolio. So let's see. Did we talk about the summit? Talk about the summit.
Oh Lord! And how it led to Young Mogul News. Young Mogul News.
Yes,
Young Mogul News.
Tell us about that.
So, Young Mogul News, y'all. If you have not heard of Young Mogul News, I need you to know about Young Mogul News. I need you to be following all of us so that you can hear these amazing young people. We were at the RAM Summit 2019. Again, if you haven't gotten your tickets for RAM Summit 2020, you need to be there, because from that think space, that's a think tank in itself. Like, from that think tank came so many ideas. And one of those was the Young Mogul News. It was funny because we were sitting around the table and we were like, oh, we need to collaborate. And these, and then some kind of way in this conversation with 25 people around the table, Terry got voluntold that she was going to do this news broadcast called Young Mogul News. Look, folks, I'm a teacher. I am a teacher. I don't know nothing about news broadcasts or anything. But the one thing you know about me is if I take it, I'm going to make it amazing. Anything I touch, it's only going to be amazing, because the only thing going to come out your mouth when you talk about Terry and her stuff is, oh, it's amazing. So we have
declaration. You see that power right there? Yes. You see, y'all got that? Y'all got that whole? Yes.
If I touch it, the only thing you're going to say out your mouth about it is, it's amazing. So we have this TV podcast news crew of amazing children who are interviewing each other. They have a script, they have a schedule, they have a level up, they have to reach out, they have to learn how to reach out and invite people to interviews, they have to learn how to do graphics to advertise their interviews, and then they have these amazing conversations. If you haven't seen two children talk business, and you don't get inspired and you don't feel like, what am I doing with my life? If you haven't seen, like, it's awesome. It'll give you all your life back.
It gives you a whole life, and it does, and it makes you want to, and that's why every time I talk about it, I'm like, you need to bring everybody you know around so they can just listen to these kids have these candid conversations. And you need, most importantly, you need to bring all your young people, your grandkids, the kids, any kids you know, they need to watch these things because they need to know what's really possible. And the thing is, I always say is like, all of our children are amazing. these kids are no more amazing than the other kid, except for these kids we've given them the platform to just be free and just be themselves, right? And they're just sitting in their greatness and they're showing up. It's just naturally. It's not like there's no forced weirdness. It's just them talking to their friends and the relationships they're building with each other. Man, imagine if we started building with our kids.
Yeah.
Kids like our kids when we were kids.
And the thing that I've noticed also, and I think the reason I've married myself to this process, because I'm not getting paid for it. None of us are getting paid for it, okay? But I think the reason that I've married myself to this process is all of the skills that come into just doing this. These are skills that these 4-year-olds, because Simona's in there, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 14, these children are learning how to manage a process. They're learning how to take responsibility of a process. They're learning how to persevere through technical difficulties. I think a big thing for me was when we were at the summit, Sanaya did her pitch and her technology didn't work. And it just crushed her. Like, she shut down and it was frustrating for her. She cried. It was just really hard for her. And I realized in that, okay, I haven't taught her how to push through something that she can't control, right? You can't control technology. So when that happens, what do you do? And so the Young Mogul News has also given them that process, because tell you, these technologies didn't work for these babies. And yet they still figured out how to make it work, to show up. They got creative. And those are skills that are going to just take them so far. So I've seen the value in it. And now I'm like, y'all gonna do it. All of you.
And that's it. I love it. It has really been an amazing journey. And literally we're only a month in, and these kids, the kids are enjoying themselves, but we as the parents, we're getting our whole lives. Like, it's just watching the video views go up, the shares, the support. We're really it's a movement. Like, Terry, you have started something. All you parents sitting at that table, like, it's just started something really beautiful that's just going to blossom into the greatness that we haven't even imagined yet. We haven't even imagined yet where this whole Young Mogul News platform is going to go. I'm telling you right now, because people are watching us. And this is the one thing I need all the parents that are watching to know, that people are watching you. They're watching your children, and the way you show up and how you continue to move is just, the only thing it can do is breed more greatness. Through collaboration, through partnerships, everything that you want is on the way. You just have to continue to move, and you have to stay connected. You have to stay connected. Other parents need what you have to offer, and you need what we have to offer. And that's the bottom line. Somebody is waiting for you. Somebody is waiting for you. Somebody's waiting for your child as well. And your child does not need to be alone in this process, just as much as you don't need to be alone in this process, because there's a place for you. There's a place for you. So, Terry, I want you to tell us as we close how people can get in touch with you. Talk to us about some of the products that you have right now. I know the curriculum writing thing is on fire. So I need to share with us a little bit about that and how
real quickly,
all the stuff.
So real quickly, I have this product because one of the things I noticed is that within this Raising a Mogul society, within all of this, we have children who are doing things that will inspire other children. And so I've just been inspired that if you all can get your product or your process, right? Let's say you make lip balm, right? I need you to go into a school and tell them the science behind lip balm, but get them engaged and want to do and create so that they see the possibilities that are there for them. So that they can see that there is life beyond this that they say is mine. Right? I can make a life for myself. I can make a world for myself. And so within the group, I said, all right, I, as an educator, have been on the leadership team. I've been on the curriculum writing team. I've been in all of these spaces. I know what it's going to take for you to get your service, your curriculum written, and then adopted into a school. So let me show you how to do that. And so I created the curriculum writer for Young Moguls. And we have an amazing group of people who is in there learning how to write their curriculum and writing it and doing a phenomenal job.
Absolutely.
Phenomenal job. And they're creating products that they can now take to these schools and say, hey, I can either come with my young mogul and do the workshop for you, the program for you, or I've created something that's so amazing that I can sell you the curriculum and you can do it in your schools. And so I've created a platform and a program and a process that allows you to be able to do that. And it's on fire. And what's coming out of it is quite amazing. Quite amazing.
So I don't know if you really clearly told us what you just dropped this weekend.
I didn't.
Yeah. I'm waiting for that part because I want to talk about it.
Yeah.
I have something to add.
Yeah. So this weekend I was like, okay, I know that I need to take some stuff off your plate. I'm watching you moguls doing amazing things. I mean, like Mr. Fresh, he just started had his launch party, right?
Yes.
So let me take this curriculum writing off of your plate and I'll write it for you. So this weekend I dropped a product where basically I'll write your curriculum for you. My goal is to get as many written in Q4 by the end of Q4. So you're ready to push it out for your summer programs, these summer camps, these summer enrichment programs, so that you can go and make your money this summer and then book your trip to go do what you want to do. And I'll write it for you, right? You don't have to tell anybody I wrote it for you. You can put your name all over it. Yeah, girl, I wrote it.
Write it for you.
I'll write it for you. Just let me write it for you so that you can go and do other amazing things. And that's kind of how I feel like I'm giving back to this community, because I receive so much. Now let me add some value. Let me add my support. Let me add my help, so that we can get this thing done and be amazing together and grow and level up together.
Listen, can I tell you, I got my whole life this weekend with curriculum writing and I didn't have to write nothing. I'm so serious. So listen, I'm going to say this because so many of us, they're new to the concept. There's a lot of parents that are going to be watching, a lot of organizations, business owners that are going to be watching that are new to this idea. So like, if you're new to it, follow Terry Teaches, learn more about the curriculum writing experience and all the different things you can do. But from my perspective, I need you to know that my daughter's brand, Xandra's brand, and the Xandra Foundation, we've been pushing into schools for a few years now, and we do a lot of programming in our community. And we get paid for that. So to the point where we've been able to actually create jobs for people so that we can push in and do her science behind it programming, do STEAM programming, entrepreneurship programming, all kinds of other personal development programming for large organizations and also for smaller ones.
Yeah.
And I'm going to say this, because I already told y'all how I was at homeschooling, and I was just the art teacher, and I was a music teacher too, I think. I don't know. And I was I was home ec. So anyway, I was home ec. So Jimmy usually does all the writing and the curriculum. So I took Terry's curriculum writing course because I'm like, I need to know how this works, because I know, and I'm not going to master everything, but I need to know how it works before I outsource things. I like to do that. So now that I know how it works, I took the 4-week course. I was in there, but I didn't write nothing, right? But I knew when I bought it that I wasn't going to write nothing because I know who I am. You got to know who you are. I know me very well, right? So when she dropped this joint this weekend, I was like, okay, now you can write it, because guess what? Outsourcing it to Terry, now we can triple and double and quadruple, triple, quadruple, and just level up at a faster rate, because now she's our official curriculum writer for the Xandra Foundation. Yeah. That's it. I gave her we having a whole business meeting. We do Sunday business meetings, so I can't wait to tell them we got a curriculum writer. She's gonna write all our curriculum, and that's it. So I just made it up. I'm more execution. Yeah. Money loves speed. Stop playing. Yeah. I know I'm not going to do it. I know I'm trying to get to a different level. I'm trying to get some new contracts, and this is what's going to happen. Mm-hmm. There's no thought in this. I mean, extra thoughts where I can talk myself out of it. I've already been doing it. And if you haven't been doing it, you need to start doing it. Yeah. And if there's an easy way you can get it done, instead of you spending months trying to figure it out, blah, 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 divide all that by however you get paid by an hour, and you would have paid Terry 16,000 times.
That's what I'm trying to get people to understand. If it takes you a year to write curriculum, think about how much money you spent in that year in time. But now let me do it for you and hand it to you, and you spend the next amount of time selling it.
That's it. That's it. That's it. And
this school and that school and this school and that.
You're going to join the BS lab so I can teach you how to sell it. I can teach you how to sell it.
Now you can teach us how to sell it.
I can teach you how to sell it.
Okay?
So Hilda talking about
for that.
I know. Hilda said, she said slides card to Terry teachers. That's what listen, y'all better get on it. You better stop playing. We're talking about the next level. This is it. We have to invest. So Terry, I want to thank you for allowing me to pull that out of you, because I know that's not what the purpose of this live was, even though it was, because we're talking about your next level and this new curriculum item, the Done For You courses and all the other things that you're doing are a part of your next level. And that's it. So I think it was totally appropriate. And it's also a part of your service to help other parents and parent managers and families really level up and